What's good? So you are here because you don't completely understand theory and you want my help to give you 5 scales that you can use to actually start completely opening up the fretboard. So let's dive in with some criteria. What we're going to need to know roughly are intervals. That sounds scary, but let's just go super basic. It's numbers. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you can't count to 7, next video for sure. So the reason I say we need to count to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is because there's typically 7 notes in a scale. That's not going to be true for the first scale I show you, but for the rest of them it's going to be the case. And essentially, we need to understand what, if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, sometimes they have a flat or a sharp, and that's going to dictate what scale we're playing. So we're going to start with the pentatonic, and with the pentatonic, minor pentatonic, we play 1, flat third, 4th, 5, and flat 7. So let me show you that on the top string. I'm also going to show you from the 12th fret, on the high string, and then from 7, because all of these are going to be based in E. So here is what the pentatonic scale that you probably already know, but on the top string looks like. Here's from 12. Here's on the high E. And then here's from 7 on the A. Now, obviously, you can use these as riff fodder, let's say. So if you just chug that open string and then play the notes I gave you, that might sound like this. So you see straight away we've already got a riff. Now if we want to do a bit of solo over something like that. So you can see already, with just a couple of them, we can start to get more and more advanced. The pentatonic is super basic, so learn it in those 4 places, and we're going to do the rest in those same 4 places. So let's go on to the next one. Next, you have the natural minor scale. Now, this one I think is the absolute basis of all metal and rock music. So, obviously some are going to be in major scales, but don't worry about none of that nonsense. Most things are based in the minor scale. So on the top string, that is going to be played like this. Intervallically, that is 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7. If this stuff makes no sense to you, make sure to leave a comment down below. So we've got that on the top string now. Let's get it from 12th fret. Now this is great because this is how you can start to see a lot of the shredding scale. So if I show you that all doubled up, you'll start to be like, oh, okay, I've seen that a bunch of times. So yeah, you see straight away, it's this same idea, just put at 12. Now let's do that same idea from the high E. Now, as you can see, it's the exact same as the low E because we're both starting from E, so it's the same intervallic structure. Now, this is cool because say you have a riff like... You can start to use that high E, so... Now let's look at that from 7th fret on A. So that's going to look like this. Now you can see already if you've got the top string for riffing, high E for lead stuff, then you have these 2 3-note per string scales for a bit more shred. So that's the minor scale. Now let's go into harmonic minor. The primary difference here being this note right here. The 7th note in the scale, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, is no longer a flat 7, it's a major 7. Now if you flatten a note, it goes back 1 fret. If you sharpen it, it goes up 1 fret. So we'll see this transpire across the whole fretboard now. So let's do a riff from there. So So you see a bit more tension in this one because you have that leading tone being the 7th note. Now let's look at that from the 12th fret. Again, still that more tension, a bit more darker, like neoclassical sort of vibe. Now let's get that from the high E. Same as the low E, as everything else in this. And then from the top string. Then from 7 on the A. So you can see again, we just have this more tense version, and what I like to do is take 2 and 3 there and go between them. So natural minor and harmonic minor, you can mess around with them as much as you would like to. Now we're getting into more modal stuff, and this is where you can start to see the more heavy stuff coming out. So we're going to look at Phrygian next, and the primary difference here is you take the minor scale, and this is what I said about everything being the basis from the minor scale. See, that last one was based on the minor scale, it was just that one note's changed. Exact same thing here. The only difference is that instead of taking the last note and changing it, we're taking the second note and moving it back one. So we flatten that note, and that looks like this. The benefit of this is 0 to 1 is a very heavy sound, so... So you see, just a bit more aggressive. And then so if we see that from here... Again, just a darker tonality. Similar to the harmonic minor, which is a bit more tense in neoclassical. This one's just a bit more aggressive and metal, I would say. Okay, so now from the high E. Again, not much to say about Phrygian other than it's a lot of what metalcore and a lot of Metallica bands like that use. I would say natural minor is more like an Iron Maiden kind of vibe. You know, you go... That's classic minor, whereas you might see like the verse of Enter Sandman. So you see we do Phrygian when we go into that 1, and then when we do 3-2, we go back to natural minor. So Phrygian, still Phrygian, natural minor. So there you can see, you can use them together, no problem. And then lastly, Phrygian is here. Then the most interesting, without a doubt, will be Phrygian Dominant. For me, anyway. This is a mode of harmonic minor. Now, if you're on this video and you don't know what modes are and you want to know these scales and stuff, do not look at modes right now. They will not help you in the least because you simply just don't understand how they go. So what we want to do is just learn the basic shape of Phrygian Dominant. So Phrygian, before, we had that 1 included, but we still had the 3 from the natural minor scale. Now we're going to be playing 4 or major third. So that sounds like this. Now I think this one, it combines that roughness of the Phrygian and the tension of the harmonic minor. So you can do things like this. Very heavy scale. You've also got like... those kind of things. So now let's look at that in the other places on the fretboard. So we have the 12th fret. Then from the high E. And lastly from the A. And there you have it. There's 5 scales that you can use in metal, straight away. If you just learn all of them in those 4 positions from the same place, you can improv, you can write songs, you can do anything. Just try and initially stick them all to the same, you know, you're only doing pentatonic, or you're only doing harmonic minor, that kind of thing. If you stick to that, you'll be absolutely fine. And look, I'm going to be making an attempt to post a lot more here on YouTube. So if you could just comment, like, subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next video.